I was so crushed. I was so crushed because these are the people that worked with my mom for like over 20 years. These are the people that taught me in high school, and the very same people whom I thought would stand for me are the ones who are rejecting me. And these are the people that I love. Not necessarily because I work with them, because to me, they're not just colleagues, they were parents. I consider them as parents, and for them to turn around and do something so wicked to me, because it's beyond, evil. For them to do something like that, it was just crazy, and I was broken. Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is Matt Daniels, and I am super excited to finally be doing this, and I know for a fact that this is my calling. This is the reason in which God has called me, because I have been meaning to do this channel for the longest of time, but then I couldn't because of a whole lot of things that have been happening, and I felt like I didn't have the time nor the energy to combine and mix up everything together. One of the reasons that actually set me on that path, it's the fact that when you're having a channel where people do not subscribe to see gospel content, and you post a video and 20 people watch, 10 people, 50 people only watch, and you are discouraged. But when it's all a Christian channel, it's not my responsibility to make sure that the videos trend or the videos are seen by a lot of people. It's God's responsibility. So that's the reason why I started this channel, because I know that here I'm going to be free to share what I want to share, what is in my heart, what is in my spirit, without feeling the pressure of having the video trend, without feeling the pressure of that I want this video to be seen by a lot of people. If God feels like this information, this word that He placed in my heart is worthy of being seen by a lot of people, then He's going to make sure that it gets to those people. So thank you guys so much. And secondly, my goal on this channel is to, even though I know I'm going to start off with very few watchers and very few subscribers, but my goal is to make sure that those few subscribers that actually pop by my channel stay in my channel. You guys are going to enjoy everything that I have planned for you. Like the people that I intend on bringing on the show, some of my friends, who have been in ministry for the longest of time. I hope I will manage to get Tembani here as well. He knows the Bible. People who quote the Bible from the heart are very close to my heart. So I'm going to have him on the channel, and we are going to be talking about creation. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to be talking about creation. We're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about God and how I nearly turned atheist and then I was back. Yeah, so I thought that on my very first video, I am going to share my testimony on how God tested me on what I was preaching. I came to my channel, like my old channel, Matt Daniels, and I posted a sermon or a message about how to be strong and just to be established in faith. How when you have faith and you trust God completely, even when there are storms, you're gonna be able to stand. You're gonna be strong. And after preaching that, everything fell apart in my life. I remember that day I was waiting for confirmation from my work, because I thought I was going to be permanent by now. So I was waiting for that letter, to tell me and confirm that I'm now permanent. I went to the school and I asked, and then they told me that my things were rejected by the circuit. I went to the circuit. The circuit was like, there's nothing we can do, but we didn't reject you. You got rejected at the school, and it was just I went into each and every department. I remember the last time I went to the department or to the offices, every time I would go into an office to ask for help, the person would automatically believe that I was guilty. They would automatically just look at me and feel like I'm guilty. I must have done something to the principal in order for him to cancel me and do what they did to me. And I was like, even if they didn't want me at the school, but they could have just allowed me to go and work at another school, of which they tried to stop that as well by making sure that they don't submit my things on time. Had they submitted my things on time, right now we would have maybe I would be permanent as well, but it didn't happen, and I believe that God has a purpose why it didn't happen. And I was so crushed. I was so crushed because these are are the people that worked with my mom for like over 20 years. These are the people that taught me in high school, and the very same people whom I thought would stand for me are the ones who are rejecting me. And these are the people that I love, not necessarily because I work with them, because to me they're not just colleagues, they were parents. I consider them as parents, and for them to turn around and do something so wicked to me, because it's beyond evil. For them to do something like that, it was just crazy, and I was broken, and it continued. I remember the second day my aunt came in with a letter from the circuit, and then they told me that I'm not a qualified teacher. I'm qualified to teach at a higher institution. And I was like, how do I teach at a higher institution if I have a postgraduate certificate in education that clearly says intermediate phase and senior phase? And then they're like, not gonna work, you are not allowed to come here and do any work. And then I was like, okay, it's cool, it's fine. I remember my aunt was trying to encourage me. She was like, be strong, the Lord, go and study something. And in my head I was like, me, go study teaching so that I can come back and earn the same salary, where it's gonna be way less than I am earning right now, considering the price hikes of everything. And I was like, crushed. I remember that day I tried to pretend like I didn't hear anything that they said. I was watching The Wife. I was catching up on the whole season 1 of The Wife, like all million episodes. And I watched, and sometimes when it would like pause and the network would pause, I would feel my body turning hot and I would cry. Like my whole body would be on fire, you guys. My body would be on fire and I would be hysterical. I would be crying my lungs out. And I after that I continued watching the next day. And I spoke to my uncle, and my uncle was like, go to the district and speak to the director, speak to this one, speak to that one. Every time I walk into somebody's office, they're like, go to that office. I remember my sisters and brothers were like, don't give up. You do this, just don't give up without a fight. So I decided, okay, I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep going with it until it got to me, and I told my sister, I was like, you guys, I've done everything I could do in my power to make sure that this is all right, but it's beyond me. There's nothing that I can do right now, and I'm tired. And I was tired. I remember the next day, after they told me that I'm not a qualified teacher, I got a call from like the car finance, and then they were like, listen, we just want to talk about how you are going to pay us back for the money that we didn't get in your account for your car, your first installment. And the first installment is not like the third or the 50th installment. The first installment is compulsory, and if you don't pay, we are going to come repossess the car. And I was shocked because I thought that the first installment was going to be on the end of February, because the end of February I had organized and made sure that I saved money for it that time, but the money was not going to be available up until month end. So I was like, okay, the car, the job, nothing is coming together. And you know what, my son hasn't paid for crash in so long. He hasn't paid in Jan and February, like this like home schools and stuff, and there's transport for my son, there's lunch, and I didn't have money. And the last time I got paid was on the 16th of December, and everything was it was a mess. It was a mess, but God kept me. I remember my dad was like, why don't you apply for census that you can get a job? And I was like, listen, my guy, I'm not worried, because I know that when one door closes, another door will open. I don't know how this thing is going to work out, but I know that God is going to make a way somehow. I told him, I was like, there are no missed opportunities in the spirit. When one door closes, another one will open. I didn't know how, but I was like, you know what? Most of the times I've cried and I've felt pain, but this time around I'm going to just choose to trust in God. I'm going to trust in Him. I'm going to test Him with my trust and see what happens. And the day after I gave up, that's when the next day I got a call, and then they're like, hey, there's the school in this place. And I went to the school, and when I started working at the school, I found that the environment was way different from the environment in which I was working at before, because the environment was beautiful, it was conducive, and the people there wanted to work. Everyone is just focused on work. And I'm telling you, in just 1 month of being in that school, I've learned things that I didn't learn in the 5 years of being in my previous school. And I still do feel like, after everything that God put me through, because it was painful, sometimes I would not have like food to eat. sometimes I would not have like money for fuel, and sometimes I would not know what my kids are gonna eat. And if I'll talk to my baby daddy, like I told him in December that in January and February, since I don't know my permanent and whatnot, I might not be working. And I told him that because I wanted him to know that he's gonna at least need to do most things for Levi. So if Levi is covered, he has food and he has everything else, at least I would have to worry about myself only and not have to worry about somebody else, not have to worry about the child. Did I not see flames? I remember one time he called me, and then I'm like, Levi hasn't paid crash for like 2 months. And then he's like, yeah, I'll send you money when it suits me, when I feel like it. And then I'm like, dude, crash. And then he's like, I said I will send you money when I feel like it. And there was nothing I could do about it. And I remember, the following week, he was like, he was like, why are you rushing me? I'm like, it's been 2 weeks since you got paid. What do you mean? Why am I rushing you? And it was just crazy. Everything was just a mess, and channels were closed. I didn't have clients. I can make like $3,000, $4,000 sometimes, from the business, depending on how good the month is. Even if you take one client, it's still something, But the clients were not coming. I was not getting bookings. I couldn't even advertise on Facebook because there was no money in my account for the adverts to run. It was a storm. So with that storm, at the end of the day, I saw the hand of God. I saw God make a way for me, and things came together. And I still do believe, you know what? God did not allow me to go through everything that I went through just so that, I can find myself in like the exact same spot. I know that He's working on something. Something is coming. Something big is gonna happen in my life. I believe that, and I'm happy about God, because He's always faithful. He was faithful to me. I got a job and I was able to like cover everything, and I owe no one right now as I am sitting here in front of you. If I owe you, hit me up with a text so I can EFT. I'm just joking. I'm joking, you guys. But this is my story, and I thought, let me just start you guys with my very most recent testimony. There's just so much I have to share with you guys, and I hope that you do stick around into this channel, and I hope that you are really going to enjoy the content of this channel. So thank you so much for watching this video up until the end. Make sure that you do subscribe. You hit the notification bell. If you subscribe and you don't press notification, it means every time I post a video, you're not going to see that I've posted a new video. So make sure that you press the subscribe button, and you also press the notification bell. It looks like a bell just on top of the subscribe button, and then it's going to give you options to subscribe, to like notifications for all, or so you're gonna press all, so that all the videos that I'm going to post on this channel, you are gonna be able to view. You're gonna receive a notification on your phone. So I really appreciate your support, so that we can grow this channel to be one of the biggest Christian channels in South Africa. I believe that that's going to happen, and I will get a bigger lens and a bigger studio, and bigger people to interview. But we all start somewhere. And then this is my beginning, and it will grow with your channel, with your support, and also with the backing of the Holy Spirit. If the Holy Spirit is really backing this channel, then it's bound to grow. And I really do feel that this is my purpose, and I know that there is grace that is released for everyone whose journeys, or who takes a journey, throughout pursuing that which God has, drawn for them to achieve before time. So thank you so much for watching my video, guys. I love you. Have a lovely day.